I don't want to come off as that one guy who feels the need to stick his pessimistic nose in the middle of a ton of people's hype. As the local resident talk positively guy, I want to reiterate this. And also, you may want to like the video and subscribe now, because this video might make some people angry by the end of it, because I'm going to tell it like it is from here on out. But this is important. With Kingdom Hearts 4 now being a thing that everyone the world over knows about, I don't want a repeat of the hype cycle of Kingdom Hearts 3. And by this, I'm referring to the time period between its initial announcement in 2013 and its release in 2019. Now, part of this problem stemmed from Square honestly just announcing the game too early, especially when there's no way they weren't already having development issues when they decided to announce the game. Just a really bad decision all around back then. But as outsiders, we don't know what's going on behind the scenes, so when the game had to start its development cycle over again in 2015, it extended the hype cycle for the product. In Square's eyes, this might not have been an issue, thinking their public apology would essentially restart the hype cycle, but that's not how hype and expectations work, unfortunately. In the end, it just added to how long people had been waiting for the game. Now, I don't want people to misunderstand what I'm saying here. The hype cycle for a game is one of the most important things about a game, period. But while it's meant to be, and primarily is, a positive time period, when that cycle is prolonged over extended periods of time, it can have the exact opposite effect and become what I call the anxiety cycle, where the longer the game is in development hell, the less faith fans have about the project going well. This was a huge situation for Final Fantasy 15, where the game was announced so long ago, updates on the project started to become more and more distant, the entire name and direction of the game changed, fans didn't even know what to expect from the game when it actually came out, and when it did, it was about as mixed as I'm sure you can imagine. There were complaints about it being incomplete, incoherent, and overall not very polished. I'm not saying this is the scenario Kingdom Hearts 4 will be in though, not at all, but what I'm going to get into is likely what can happen. Kingdom Hearts 3 also went under some stressful development, and while not to the extent of Final Fantasy 15, its hype cycle duration speaks for itself. And while Kingdom Hearts 3 actually reviewed quite well and sold even better, there was a large part of the community that felt disappointed by the monumental game that was supposed to be Kingdom Hearts 3. A lot of people were saying things like, "This is KH3, I waited 13 years for this." And while I personally feel that kind of statement is silly, because you can say you waited on a movie or a video game for X many years, but if it wasn't actually confirmed to be being made for half that time, then that kind of statement just holds less value to me. But that's just me. But what I'm trying to say here is that I feel a big portion of the dissatisfaction people felt with Kingdom Hearts 3 wasn't due to the game being mediocre, it was more because the expectations fans set for the game. And in a way, I get that. When you've got 7 years of waiting to do, you're gonna theorize, you're gonna get hype, you're gonna anticipate, and that desire for it to be the best game ever is just gonna grow. Even if that hope wavers between it and anxiety, the desire itself for the game to be a banger will only get bigger. And when fans start to set unrealistic expectations on a game, disappointment is to be expected. Now, I see some people on Twitter and YouTube sometimes try to blame YouTubers for overhyping anticipated games, like Kingdom Hearts 3 for example, because they're doing theories and discussions, whether it's through videos or streams, doesn't matter. They think that us making content on dang near whatever news comes out is what causes fans to set unrealistic expectations. And to a degree, I can see why some may think this, but, and no disrespect to anyone that may think this way, that's honestly some of the most immature and naive way of thinking I've ever come across in this community. Why blame the creator specifically for expressing their love for a franchise in any given way? A majority of us creators are making these videos out of our own hype and anticipation for said products. If a viewer gets hyped because of a possibility a creator comes up with, that's not the creator's fault. A viewer does not have to align their views or expectations based on what creators think. They're their own people with their own minds. If they choose to do so, that's on them. Blaming creators for that is simply ignorant. There's no other way to say it. Because even if creators didn't do all these videos and streams, quote unquote, overhyping the games as they call it, passionate fan bases like Kingdom Hearts will always talk about Kingdom Hearts, will always theorize about Kingdom Hearts, and will always hype up Kingdom Hearts. That's just how they are. If they can't temper expectations to a realistic unrealistic degree while having fun theorizing and talking and hyping up a game, then that problem is on the individual level, a personal problem for those said people, not the creator. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying you shouldn't be hyped for upcoming releases. I just don't want people to blame the game for not doing what it wasn't setting out to do. You can want this or that for something all you want, but when a game has a story to tell, don't be mad it doesn't tell the story you wanted. Be mad it didn't tell what it intended to well enough. Those are very different things. I just don't want the Kingdom Hearts 4 hype cycle to kill the game when it comes out. This game again seems like it wants to tell a very specific and unique kind of story, widely different than anything before it, especially for this franchise. So this isn't me saying stop hyping the game. I'm just saying don't get unrealistic expectations for this or any game. It should be self-explanatory. You're fully able to love the game that comes out, but if those feelings aren't rooted from a fair standpoint, then you stand to do nothing but hurt the reputation of the franchise you claim to love. Judge the game on how well it executed what it intended to, and not on what you hoped it would. Okay, that was that was a lot. I kind of got real during that one, but I had to speak from the heart, you know, and realistic as possible, because this is something I see a lot in the community. Not even necessarily like I see it a whole bunch, but just some people that say it really baffle me when they do, and that's just something that I need to just stomp out here and now while we're still early in the hype cycle of Kingdom Hearts 4. And as long as we all go in with this fair standpoint mindset, you know, and blaming the right people and things, and etc. going into this, then I think Kingdom Hearts 4 will come out very, very happy for, you know, most people. I think most of us will be happy with the game. But that's going to be it for me. Hit the like button if you agree with a lot of the points I made, leave a dislike if you didn't, and leave a comment if you have anything else to say about the whole Kingdom Hearts 4 hype cycle, or any other examples of this kind of thing happening with another game, like how I brought up Final Fantasy 15. But thank you all so much for watching. My name is KingdomAce. Remember everyone to play some games, have some fun, and enjoy your day today.